Oh, hi everybody. I see Batya's flag. I see Batya's flag.
I'm here.
Okay, it's Batya's face.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'd like to please just see. Okay, it's this week's Parsha, and I want you to look up. Everybody,
I'm gonna go get one.
Okay. So if you look at the soup, everybody have a soup?
Yep.
Perek Vav, Pasuk Kafei, please.
Should I read?
So I see Tali, I see Tali, I see Aruba, I see Shani. Is Daphne here?
No, Batya is. Daphne's not here.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Okay. So everybody has a pasuk. Who wants to read?
From Kaf Hey, you want it to be from Ya'er Hashem Panav Elecha V'Chuneka?
No. Stop from Kafbet.
Kafbet. וידבר השם אל משה לאמור, דבר אל אהרון ואל בניו לאמור, כה תברכו את בני ישראל, אמור להם. יברכך השם וישמרך, יאר השם פניו אליך ויחונך, יישא השם פניו אליך וישם לך שלום.
Okay, everybody understand what this means, right? What does Hashem basically say?
Bless.
You know, that's the blessing. That's the blessing you should have. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Hashem gives you the terminology that when you do these things, you should have. Okay. Now I want everybody to go to Sefer Vayikra in Pashas Shmini, and remember Pashas Shmini. What's Shmini of what? What's the 8th day of what? Everybody remember of the Mishkan. In other words, Moshe Rabbeinu put it up for 7 days and down, up and down, up and down. And the 8th day there was Chanukah Kabayit. Basically, now the thing is real. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So if you take a look there, let's go to Shmini. If you don't mind, look up. Okay, so over here, take a look at Pasuk. Okay, here we are. Pasuk. Vayikra Perek Tet. Pasuk Kafet. You see it?
Want me to read?
Please.
Okay. וישא אהרון את ידיו אל העם ויברכם וירד מעשת החטאת והעולה.
So by Aaron, first of all, look at how the word is spelled Yadav. You see it? Yud Dalet Vav.
It's missing a yud.
It's missing a yud. It should normally Yadav, and yet it's Ktiv. Ktiv basically, if you just read without knowing, how would you read it? How would you read Vayisha et
Yado.
Yado.
Yadov? Right. How can you do both Yadav and Yadov simultaneously? If you ever see it, we probably don't see it because we close our eyes when the Kohen do this. But basically, the Kohen put their hands together in such a way where two become one. Vayisha Aaron et Yadav, basically, he took both of his hands and made them into one, which is the way the Birkat Kohanim works today. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now take a look at Rashi. What was it he gave the bracha? Take a look at Rashi. Who wants to read it?
Hold on.
פסוק ב', פסוק כ"ב, ויברכם.
זה?
ויברכם, כ"ב.
You have it all?
I don't have
What read?
Rashi in my Tanakh.
Where's Rashi?
Hold on, I'll read it. One second.
Uva, do you have it?
Anybody have it? Shall I read?
Hold on, wait, I have it. 1 minute.
Okay.
Or I could look it up.
כ"ב, ויברכם ברכת כהנים יברכך יאר יישא.
What? This is Sefer Vayikra. How does Aaron know to bring the bracha that we just learned yesterday in Prshat Naso? Is that a problem?
Yes.
Anybody want to tackle it?
Well, Rashi says, אין מוקדם ומאוחר בתורה.
Okay, who said this now? Who said it?
Shani.
Shani. Okay, so Shani, is that a good answer? What did you really just do? What did you really do? You basically did what I asked. I asked you, why is this first before, how can there be the bracha before God gives it? And you answered me because God does it. It describes it. You're not explaining it.
Right.
In other
Maybe,
words,
Saba, maybe it's because I think we were discussing this because I was learning Parshat Naso, and we were discussing how like the fact that maybe like the Kohanim really made the bracha and Hashem was like saying it like through them. So like it said it before in Vayikra, but that's because like it was like through them.
Okay. So Ahuva, you're doing a very interesting thing. Let's go, hold on to your question, what you just answered, and somebody read Pasuk Chaf Gimel now.
Shall I read?
In Vayikra,
ויבוא משה ואהרון,
אל אוהל מועד ויצאו ויברכו את העם.
ויברכו את העם. So Moshe now goes and is מברך את העם. Look at what Rashi says. What was the bracha he gave there?
Hold on. ויבוא משה ואהרון, למה נכנסו מצאתי...
No, ויברכו, Shani, ויצאו ויברכו את העם. I'm concentrating on the bracha that Moshe Rabbeinu gave. What did he say?
אמרו יהי נועם השם אלוקינו עלינו.
ויהי נועם השם אלוקינו עלינו. Anybody recognize that pasuk?
We say that every day.
Yeah, you say it. It's a very big, of course, it's a very famous thing, right? Do you have a siddur?
Yes.
I want you to look in of Shabbat, in Psuke de Zimra.
Here, it's right before Yoshev B'Sefer Elyon.
How does this pasuk start? How does that particular Tehillim start in the Shacharit?
תפילה למשה איש האלוקים.
תפילה. No, please.
למשה.
Tefillah leMoshe. This is a Tehillim that was written by whom?
Moshe.
By Moshe. So now you can well understand.
Saba, you're on silent.
You have to press. Yeah, you got it.
What's wrong?
You were on silent.
Vihi Noam. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Vihi Noam is interesting because now the Vihi Noam that you see in this particular place of Shmini, that you can understand. It was written by whom? Oh my gosh. That's David. I'll call David. I'll call this David calling. I'll have call David. So London, it's all over the place. London to Elizabeth, New Jersey. Oh my gosh. I'll call David. Oh my gosh. All right, let's stop a second. Unreal. Okay. Okay, guys. Okay, so now Ahuva said it's very possible that somehow the Kohanim made it, but you had no proof. But now you have an interesting thing. You see by Moshe Rabbeinu, V'hinoam, who composed it? Clearly. No, who composed it?
Moshe.
Moshe. So now your interesting thing, what has happened here?
Consistent.
Okay. Now, watch what's happening over here. Moshe Rabbeinu, clearly in this case, is the one who wrote the tefillah, and I have no trouble with that. But now you have a new idea. What do you say? You said that that Aaron wrote the tefillah, and now Hashem later on accepts it. Now watch this very interesting Gemara. The Gemara says, I'll read to you from the Gemara. Here's what it says. Tanu Rabbanan, ki dvar Hashem bizah, haomer ein Torah min hashamayim. If anybody said Torah min hashamayim, Amar Rabbi Eliezer, אפילו אמר כל התורה כולה מן השמיים, חוץ מפסוק זה שלא אמרה הקדוש ברוך הוא אלא משה מפי עצמו, זהו כדבר השם עשה. So now you have an interesting situation. You have a situation where, would you say that this is Moshe Rabbeinu spoke on himself? And did Aaron himself say that? Or did Hashem say that? Now, who wrote the Sefer Torah? Did you understand what's going on here?
Yeah.
Ellie was just going to the pasuk yesterday of in Parsha where it says Kotu Baruch B'nei Israel, and yet Aaron blessed the Jewish people. Lechem says Rashi, Birkat Kohanim, where Yivarech Hashem Yishmerecha, when we read in Shmini, which is Vayikra. So Shani said, Ein Magdam L'char B'Torah. The problem with that is it doesn't answer the question. It's true, it doesn't. So why in fact does it happen? The other thing about Shani is Ein Magdam L'char B'Torah is only within the same sefer. You can't go from Vayikra to Bamidbar. That doesn't work. It only was within the same sefer. But but what you touch on Shani is many people say that that doesn't answer the question. It describes what I asked you. I said to you in English, you describe it in Hebrew.
Mm-hmm.
But what we have now is an interesting situation. We find clearly that by Varchem in the Shmini of Moshe is V'hinoam, says Rashi. And we know that V'hinoam was written by Moshe Rabbeinu, as it says in Tehillim, Tefillah Moshe. So now we have a fascinating idea here. Even though in Sanhedrin it says you're not allowed to say that Moshe Rabbeinu created his own Sefer Torah, if you say that Bizarre Hashem, why would you even think such a thing? Anybody have an idea?
Why would what? What was the question?
What in Well, why would you think that Moshe Rabbeinu created this Sefer Torah and Hashem, except from Hashem? Va'et Hanan el Hashem ba'et tahi. Who's speaking?
Moshe.
It doesn't say Va'it Hanan. It's Va'it Aber Hashem bi. You might therefore think that Sefer Dvarim was written by Moshe Rabbeinu. So now you've got to understand a new concept of what we learned yesterday. Yesterday Hashem says, Kote Baruch Hu. Now you know that we say, Hey, maybe Talmidav Shel Aaron, or Hev Shalom Ve'Rodef Shalom. Where do we see that Aaron was Rodef Shalom?
Yosem Lecha Shalom.
It could well be. If he is the one who created the bracha and came up with the idea of the last thing I want to say to people is Shalom, Rodef Shalom, that is the thing I can bracha to give you grapes, to give you I don't know, fruit, whatever. Know that the Hashem Lecha Shalom, the ultimate thing in life is Shalom, or Hev Shalom, or Hev Shalom. Now you watch the pasuk again the way we had in Nassau. Read the Nassau pasuk again, Shani, whoever read it.
The pasuk in Shmini.
No, not so again, from yesterday.
1 second.
You have Vayom, yeah.
Hold on, sorry, give me a sec. So we said it was, right. וידבר השם אל משה לאמור, דבר אל אהרון ואל בניו לאמור, כה תברכו את בני ישראל, אמור להם.
רגע, what's the word you said? What's the main word here? Call. What does call mean? What does call mean? Anybody? Are you frozen?
No,
Like
like
here or there?
It should say, וידבר השם משה לאמור, דבר אהרון ויגיד ויברכו בני ישראל, השם יברך השם. What does the call stand for?
like so.
Yes, I like what Aaron did. Call like this. So now you have an interesting thing. When you say that, yes, there are pieces in the Chumash that quote what somebody said. It comes out of Hashem. So the whole Torah is Hashem. But even though the part of the words in it are made by mankind. So Moshe Rabbeinu did v'hinoam, but that's the same Chumash. I can live without that. But what are you going to do with Yivarech Hashem Yishmerecha? It doesn't appear to Bamidbar. Yes, because way back when the Mishkan was built, he said Yivarech Hashem Yishmerecha, and he's called Mevarech. Now Hashem, Kol Tevarechu. Yeah, I like it. I'm going to make this now part of my Sefer Torah. So the Torah is written by Hashem, even though part of it may have been created by none other than mankind. Now we have a new idea. What do you say when you say, V'ten chelkeinu b'toratecha? Who wants to tackle that word? V'ten chelkeinu b'toratecha. Anybody?
And give us.
So we can be a part of it too.
We can be a part of it. Normally you don't translate like that. You only make my pace to be in your Torah. But you can consider it to mean this way. Hashem is giving mankind the ability to make part of his Torah, and if Hashem likes it, so to speak, he says, cool, aha, I like it. Tevarechu b'nei Israel with those words. The ten chelkeinu b'toratecha means that everybody in the universe can basically create a progression for the same thing.
Very nice.
Really nice.
Gorgeous idea. Very nice. Anybody want to add anything to this? It's a magnificent idea because it explains both. In Eli, you came late. In Sanhedrin it says, "Kol haomer, kol haTorah kulam yeshamayim, chutz miyom miot achat or something sheMoshe Rabbeinu harei ze bizat haTorah." But here you just said, Aaron said it. Yes, you can say it, and then you can part of Torah because Hashem said, "Oh, Kol Tevarechu b'nei Israel." And as a result of this, is a model for us. If we have a new idea that we want to add onto Sefer Torah, Kol Tevarechu b'nei Israel. Yafeh?
Very nice.
Anybody want to add anything to this? I love it. It's very nice. It gives us humans the ability to add on, and that's why Hashem says, Rabbi Ishmael אומר ב-13 מידות התורה נדרשת. And you remember when we say in Chav Gadya, 13 מי יודע? Remember this? Chav Gadya. 13 מי יודע? What's the 13?
Midaya.
What midot are we talking about?
The Midah Shah Torah Nidreshet.
It could be Hashem, Kel Rachum Echanun, and then the 13 midot of Hashem, right? Kel Oetam Yom 13, Keodat V'ken 13 midot. So Chav Gadya could refer to the 13 midot of Hashem, but it could also refer to what? 13 midot of Rabbi Ishmael. What do 13 midot of Ishmael do? They allow humans to interpret the Torah. What does 13 of Midaya of Hashem do? They describe Hashem. It's a partnership. 13 miyodeya, 13 miyodeya, 13 midaya. 13 midaya. 13 midot HaKadosh Baruch Hu, 13 midot shel Rabbi Ishmael. Rabbi Ishmael אומר, so in that way, תן חלקנו בתורתך. God, B'nai Israel. I love it. God, I like it.
It's really interesting, Saba. Oh no.
I think that if you think it's a magnificent idea. Okay, sweetheart, members called
Thank
David
you,
in London.
Saba.
As we were speaking, thank you, sir. Somebody in Givat Shmuel, somebody in Tifon Yaakov, is that where you are?
משהו כזה, באו שתי